Hello folks, this is AG again and welcome back to Cyberecurity Weekly, your weekly security news digest. In this podcast, we will be summarizing the top security related news, hacks and releases that you must know before you start your week. This is fiscal week 15 and here are your top 3. Travelex has paid out $2.3 million in bitcoins to hackers in order to regain access to its global network. A malware attack that was reported on the New Year's Eve knocked the global currency exchange offline and crippled its business during the month of January. The move, reported by the Wall Street Journal, may seem counterintuitive, as experts in the past have typically recommended that companies refrain from paying threat actors ransom when such scenarios occur. However, this mindset has been shifting as attackers become more and more sophisticated, and paying ransoms to hackers has less of a detrimental financial effect on business than continuing to be logged out of systems. Events of similar origin have increased in the industry, and ransomware attacks have started becoming more sophisticated with time. Ransomware isn't new. Over the last 5 years, the number of attacks has grown tremendously, usually with financially motivated cybercriminals extorting relatively small amounts of money from victims whose data they are holding as hostage. The criminals promise that the payment will result in data being released, but there is no guarantee that they do. Indeed, as the cost of not paying ransom continues to become higher than just giving in to hackers' demands, it's likely going forward that high-profile ransomware payouts like the one Travelex made will happen more often. Most often, these nasty attacks start from a simple negligence or phishing attempts. So what should organizations do about protecting themselves against these attacks? Well, prevention is the first step, and that comes from education. EY mentions some quick wins. However, to improve resilience, organizations should make sure that they are proactive in deploying improved controls and spend enough time and budget in security trainings for their employees. Vigilance is the only cure, after all. Who doesn't love free apps? Actually, it is nice to have apps for free, given that the source of these apps are genuine. In the mid-2019, it was noticed that many such free apps were bundled with a malware which was impossible to remove from Android devices. Even if you flashed your phone, the malware would reinstall itself without you knowing about it. This was the infamous X-Helper Trojan horse. It was the middle of last year when researchers at Kaspersky Labs detected the start of mass attacks by the X-Helper Trojan on Android phones, and even now, the malware remains. The main feature of X-Helper is entrenchment. Once it gets into the phone, it somehow remains there even after the user deletes it and restores the factory settings. How does such nasty Trojan get into a user's phone? There are many ways that this can happen. 1. Downloading malicious apps from Play Store, example new 2048 HD, memory cleaning apps, buying second-hand Android phones which are probably pre-infected, or sharing executable files. If you are an Android user, you may want to go into your phone and check the running processes. If you find X-Helper, comment below. The good news is that some researchers at Kaspersky claim to have found a way to remove these malwares from users' phones. However, users can skip such tech-savvy methods of getting rid of the malware and simply reflash their backdoored phones with a fresh copy of firmware downloaded from vendors' official websites, or installing a different but compatible Android ROM. More than 3.5 million iOS users have installed fleeceware apps on their devices, UK security firm Sophos warned in a report published earlier in this week. Both the Google and Apple app stores allow app makers to create trial periods for commercial or paid subscription apps. Users can install these apps and sign up for a trial by giving the app permission to incur a charge on the user's Play Store or App Store account. Once the trial period ends, the user is charged automatically on their card and allowed to use the app. Fleeceware apps take advantage of the fact that app makers can still charge users even after the users uninstall the app from their devices. For example, last year, Sophos discovered more than 50 Android apps installed by more than 600 million users that were abusing trial periods to charge exorbitant amounts of money for basic features that are usually available for free. It is recommended that the device owners review their Google and Apple app subscription sections regularly to make sure that they haven't been tricked into unwanted subscriptions. That was all for this week, my friends. I will be back next week with the latest on cybersecurity. Please don't forget to like and subscribe my channel for your weekly security newsfeed. Till then, stay security vigilant and take care.